When it comes to Yonko versus Admirals, the Yonko fans are the bad guys in this situation. You guys are. You're terrible. You've been bullying Admiral fans for years. I've never really joined the team Yonko or Admirals. Obviously, I like the Yonko more. Shanks is probably my favorite character. But I've never downplayed the Admirals. Before we ever seen a Yonko, we met Akiji. And he stuck his hand in some water and froze the sea for 7 days so some people could walk from one island to another island. I was like, they monsters. And the show continued, and clearly they were end the game characters, and we was gonna see them at the end of One Piece, which obviously means they're top tiers. And yes, the Yonkos, I believe, are a little bit stronger one-on-one, but it's not a big gap. Any Admiral can fight any Yonko and not get anything lower than high diff. There's gonna be a hard fight regardless, and that's a fact. The story tells us that. If you're a power scaler and you need to calculate and know how hard who punches to destroy how many islands, follow the story. It's obvious as day. They're close to each other, close enough that one cannot overpower the other. The story tells us that this should be obvious. But for years, we've been having this conversation. People think it takes 2 Admirals to be the Yonko. Some people think 3. It's always going to be 1v1. Most of the time, the Yonko going to win, but the Admirals can hold their own, and they can definitely win that fight. Luffy versus Kizaru. Now, it's not the same. I don't think Luffy's at the same power of Kaido and Big Mom. I still think he has a little way to go, and I think Kizaru showed us that he has a little way to go. Of course, if this was to become a long, drag-out battle, Luffy can win and probably would win because he's a Yonko. Probably not gonna lose. But Kizaru still seemed to be just a little bit stronger. Luffy, as always, he gotta overcome something. I thought Dofi was a little bit stronger than Luffy. He went Gear 4, and yeah, you could say he was stronger, but then time right now, he needed 10 minutes and needed to be saved. If that was a one-on-one fight on an island, just them two, Dofi wins. I think Dofi was just a little bit stronger. I think Katakuri was more than a little bit stronger. And then, you know, there was some underlining themes and character motivations and other things that came into play that gave Luffy a very technical W. But power-wise, Katakuri had him beat. Kaido also had him beat for a very long time. Gear 5 came about, same thing. I think this would be a very similar situation where I don't think the gap is as big as like Luffy and Katakuri at the time, or Luffy and Kaido. I think they're like right there. Like if this was 2K and you have to give an overall, Kizaru would be like a 94, Luffy's like a 91. That's like, And I think the chapter proved that. We saw Katakuri react to Snake Man and what it took for him to react to Snake Man. We saw Kaido react to Snake Man and had to pull out Future Sight. And here is Kizaru, still in semi-casual mode, talking while blocking Snake Man. This is the best defense we've seen against Snake Man. It just reminds me of Luffy's backstory of when he was learning Gear 4 and he was using Bounce Man against Rayleigh, and Rayleigh was easily dodging, and it was like, this is cool, you need more. The more was Snake Man. And Snake Man still seems like not enough speed. Speed for Kizaru. Most people think Kizaru is the fastest in the verse. Shanks showed us a little some, but I don't think Shanks is faster than Kizaru. I think the man made of light would be the fastest person in the verse. And yes, I think he can move faster than like all the anime scientists that caps him at light. It's anime. Off topic, but when Big Mom used her lightning and gave it sentience, and the lightning is laughing and chasing people, and people are like, they're only moving as fast as lightning because it's lightning. You just looked at sentient lightning that's chasing people and then just capped it at lightning because it's... Come on now, guys. At least I think this should... I know it's not gonna, but this should be the end of the Yonko versus Admiral debate. This should be the end of it. We all should be able to agree at this point, all the Admirals can fight all the Yonkos and not get embarrassed. It's not going to be an easy fight regardless. There might be a little asterisk for Prime Beard. He's a little... But current Admirals, and you can also throw Big Mom and Kaido in there because we know they're not. Don't bring up Buggy, we know that's a special case. Don't bring up Buggy, please. Talking about Kaido, Shanks, Big Mom, Old White Beard. If you want to bring in Prime Beard, he got it. He may be able to somewhat, just a little level lower than high diff, like a medium high diff, because he's Prime Beard. He's him. Other than that, we all should be able to agree at this point. They're like right here. Yonko, right here. Same tier, just right here. That should be clear as day. And if it's not yet, as this fight or as the show continues and we get to see the Admirals awaken and all that good stuff, it's gonna be. We should be able to cut all the toxicity and just admit it now. They're the same tier. They're close enough to interact with each other. And if they're not, nothing in the show makes sense because the Admiral is there to counteract the Yonko. Let's be a little toxic. Kizaru's faster than Kaido, right? The whole time, you know, everybody's shitting on the Admirals. They're not as strong as the Yonko. So let's give the Admiral some love. We can give Kizaru the speed over damn near every Yonko. The best argument I would say right now is Shanks for what he did to Kid. From getting to the island all the way out to sea to where Kid is. That was impressive. But Kizaru, from the speed, he just like backstepped and he was like damn near out of sight. Luffy's like, where did he go? And then he just came back and kicked that boy. I think this is the fastest we ever seen anybody move. Especially the going backwards, because that one was like casual. And then he was like acceleration. But they were both so fast. We gotta, come on. People have been shitting on Kizaru for a long time, saying he's the weakest of the 3 original Admirals, which I kind of think he is too. But they kind of put a bad connotation to it and throw him under a bus to a place where he's not supposed to be. Kizaru is showing y'all, I may have the best resume of the Admirals. He don't have the most bodies, but of just smacking people up, Kizaru been smacking people up for a long time. Go back to the Arlong backstory. Kizaru was the one that came, smacked up Arlong. Jinbei became a warlord because Kizaru was like, yo, he's strong. That was the reason Jinbei became a warlord. He got a Kizaru cosign. Sabaody came and packed up all the supernovas. Now in Egghead, they sent good old Reliable. He got there and the situation is looking real dire. We had a good plan. Get the Vega Force 1 to the back of the island, shoot Kuda Burst, get up out of here. We had a great plan. Kizaru up in flames already. We've been disrespecting Admirals and Kizaru specifically for too long. The chapter gave him his flowers. He'd been getting his flowers for quite a while. He was getting his flowers back in Sabaody. Once again, the chapter and Oda came back to give him his flowers. Then y'all should too. Especially since he may lose. I made a previous video before because of story, where it's going. He may lose here. And if that's the case, let's not use that to say things that's not true. Kizaru's a monster. He's a top tier. I'm talking about the Admirals, but specifically Kizaru, can fight any Yonko one-on-one and possibly win that fight. Would he be an underdog against all of them? I would say yes. But he can win that fight against any of them. I don't see him being Shanks, but that's personal bias. I can admit that's personal bias. If they were to fight some way, somehow, he can definitely pull it off. I also kind of think he would have a hard... Actually, I don't know. Kaido would give hits up. I can't see him being Kaido either, but I also think that's just personal bias. And obviously, coming off a Kaido hype of just seeing Gear 5 versus Kaido. But now we're seeing Gear 5 versus Kizaru, and the drop-off of, like, competition is not... I mean, we just saw Gear 5 grab him, but Kizaru's going to be able to handle himself. He proved that already with Gear 4 casually taking care of that. He may even be faster than Luffy in Gear 5. And if that's the case, I love it, because everybody thinks Luffy's like top tier already with Gear 5, and I disagree. So if Kizaru could come and show that, hey, we here too, and we've been here for a minute, he's still got a little ways to go. Proves me right, and just makes sense. Humbles some of y'all just a little bit. Because the Admirals are endgame characters. Luffy, I don't think he's at his endgame strength just yet. He needs to get stronger. And he needs to get stronger to get to where the Admirals are already. To get to where the Yonkos are already. I still don't think 1v1 straight up on an island by themselves, Luffy beats Kaido. I don't know if he could beat Big Mom. He has a bigger chance of being Big Mom than being Kaido because of personality, and you can just catch Big Mom slipping. She just aloof at times. You can definitely catch her slipping. Shanks, we gonna leave that man out of it. But hey, put some respect on the Admirals. Put some respect on Kizaru. The Admirals can fight Yonkos on a damn near even plane.
Yeah, I know that you gon' say, 'cause you need something real, for real.